who this person was interviewing, but a podcaster that I really like. He basically published the podcast and then hopped on Twitter to see what people are thinking, and they basically just like repeated his like and phrase like over and over. Like, everyone in the tweets is just like and yeah, and he's like fuck, because you really hear your own idiosyncrasies when you get into a podcast.
Yes. Yeah.
So now I'm gonna be like super self-conscious.
It's okay.
But
Tim was too. He's like, oh my, oh no, oh my.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah.
So what's the name of the podcast?
The podcast is This Is Your Brain On Podcast.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, you sent this to me. There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
So it's basically just people chatting about life and stuff.
That is a very non-specific demographic.
Yeah.
I feel like it depends though. I feel like if there's a consistent host, like do you guys have a consistent host or is it just whoever hosts it?
So it used to be Cody all the time.
Okay.
And so, but it was like pretty overwhelming because he does another podcast and then they were starting a video game podcast that obviously now that COVID had happened, they can't get together and play video games.
So sad.
But it was like pretty overwhelming for him, so he asked me to kind of take over hosting, but he's also opened it up for whoever kind of wants to
Kind of like a community podcast. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Very cool.
So far it's just been me and him, but you know, if you have somebody you want to interview, you're welcome
I'll
to
just
do
get on
that.
there and be like, my one podcast episode on This Is Your Brain On Podcast. Interesting. Well, it's got a very podcasty title. I like it. It sounds like a real podcast, which I like.
It is. It's been going for like 3 or 4 years.
Damn. Oh, wow, that's crazy.
Possibly more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. That's a good time.
Yeah.
Huh.
So, yeah, it's been pretty cool. I'm less nervous this time than I was last time. Last time I was like sweating. I was like, oh my gosh, what if I say something wrong?
Yeah. No, I think that's. I feel very comfortable here. Is this close enough, or like you look like they look like pretty serious mics? So
they are pretty serious mics, and this one is turned. Let me just there.
Angle a little closer.
Yeah.
There you go. And you can like spray it down afterwards because I breathed on it.
It's okay. We'll just put it aside for however many hours, and then it's all G.
Yeah, I guess so. You kind of get away with that.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So, yeah. How have you been since last time we chatted?
Jesus, that was ages ago. Good. I think like all in all, yeah. I mean, I think that's kind of the. There's like there's always 2 layers to that question, which is of course like I'm doing great, Patricia. Thanks for asking. And then there's the emotionally, my life is always up and down, and that's just kind of the way of things. And I think honestly, since we're just pontificating here, I really think that we should listen more for the second answer, like so much more because it's actually funny. There was like a mental health campaign on the subway recently, or the subway, the C train or whatever.
Cool.
And it was like, but how are you really doing, Greg? Like that was literally like the tagline. And honestly, how are you really doing is a question we should be asking more.
Yeah.
It's,
actually, on that, it was funny. I got 2 messages the other day, and one was from like a friend that like we're friends, but like
kind of like slightly distant.
Yeah,
sure. And
like one of them was like a really close friend of mine, and I got a text from both of them that I haven't texted in like a long time, either of them. And I got a text from both of them on the same day, being like, "Oh, what's up? How's it going?" And for the friend that was like we're friends, but like not super close, I was like, "Yeah, I'm doing good. Like school started, and so that's hard and blah blah blah." But for the other friend, I was like, "Man, I haven't cried this week, and so it's been a good week. Last week I cried 4 times."
Damn. Yeah, that is a very real thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it is nice, I think too. Yeah, that is there's that social, whatchamacallit, I don't know, lubrication. just when there are the people who can really talk to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it scares me because I feel like a lot of people don't have that person,
Yeah.
That's but yeah, it actually reminds me of this really cool campaign that I can't remember. I think a psychologist, I want to say in Nigeria, I'm not actually sure where, Sub-Saharan Africa. they had developed a program whereby there was a surplus of like grandmas in like small African villages. So what they did was
surplus of grandmas.
Yes,
That sounds so great. I love it.
You can never have too many grandmas, but they had a lot of them, and they also had very like basically this man's struggle as a psychiatrist in that part of Africa was that basically there are just not a lot of psychiatrists because I mean, like, obviously there's the massive cities in that part of the world, but there still is like a huge because it's still kind of a developing nation, there's a huge lack of like mental health resources. And so what they did was they basically built a bench in the middle of the village, and the grandma, like a grandma, would just go and sit on the bench, and then if you needed to like talk something out, you could just go and talk to the grandma, who had some like counseling and like how to deal with some really heavy emotional shit.
That's so fun.
Yeah, I know, right? I was like, honestly, kudos. Like, that's fucking impressive.
Yeah.
So yeah, mental health and stuff and things, and that's great.
Well, it was like in a northern European country, which I do not remember. It might have been Sweden. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
They basically put this program together where they paired old folks who might be able to live on their own, but like needed a little bit of
We're
care.
like nearing the end of life.
And with college students. And
I heard about this.
And it was like this huge success because the college students, on average, did way better because they had a support system. They had somebody that would like make their meals maybe and like ask them how they're doing and help them out. And these old people did better too. They were healthier and more active because they had somebody to take care of.
It's one of those fucking studies where it's like yeah, we spent $30 million on this study, and turns out when you put people with people, they do better. Yeah, no, it's but you're right. That is so cool, honestly. When I was like, I don't know. Well, actually, no. For my entire childhood, up until the age of like probably 19, I would go pretty much every Friday to like an old folks home, because my parents, obviously being the very staunchly religious people they wanted to catch a few as they were heading off to the afterlife.
Catch a few.
Yeah, I'm not joking. Like, that's pretty much.
No, I know you're not joking, but it's just a great phrase.
Yeah, so they would go and evangelize the elderly, and of course I played hymns and whatnot. But what I really loved about that was that it really took away. I don't like not fear death. Like I think I don't fear death so much as I fear dying. But like, having said that, it really taught me like a lot about like older people and just I feel like we put old people in nursing homes because like obviously age and death is a scary thing. It's like kind of a taboo, and I kind of wish things like that program happened more, and where like there was more exposure of the young like with the old, just because we don't visit grandma often enough.
Yeah. And, well, this strange thing happened 2 years ago where like I love my grandma and grandpa. My grandpa remarried 10 or so years ago or whatever. And about 2 years ago I went to visit him and his wife, and I knew his wife had fairly severe dementia. Or Alzheimer's. It was one or the other.
Yeah, that's really hard.
They present similar, so I don't really remember which one it was. But I'd never been around somebody that had that. Yeah. And so I came in and I sat, like on the same couch as her, and she would turn to me and she's like, "Hi, who are you?" Yeah. So I would like introduce myself and be like, "It's okay, Lois, like no problem, whatever." And then 10 minutes would go by and she'd look at me again and she'd be like, "Hi. What are you doing here?"
Yeah. Same conversation.
And it was actually like terrifying for me to experience it for the first time, because I was like, I literally do not know what to do in this moment. I have never experienced anything even similarly close to this. It's like a funny story, but like in that moment I was like, holy shit, what do I do?
Yeah, it is hard to know how to act in those situations, isn't it?
Yeah. And so it was hard, but yeah, I think that people should have more exposure to old people.
Yep.
And like, we say like old people are racist and whatever that.
Sometimes,
Sometimes they are, but there are also ones that are willing to learn and willing to like put that aside and like.
And also, I mean, that I feel like you can just tie that back over and over and over again, because we can say like old people are racist and homophobic, which sometimes they are, but like again, if they were living in families where the grandson is like gay or trans or black or God knows what, right? Again, exposure like breeds empathy. It really, really does.
Mm-hmm.
And,
like if somebody you loved, this old person was super, super homophobic, but they loved this person, and then all of a sudden this person came out, like, it's much easier for that person, the old person, to accept that now.
Shit.
Empathy and old people.
Old people. Oh, fuck, I was going to say something. It was going to be good. I don't remember what it was. It's okay.
The train of thought is gone.
Gone. Train left the station. Choo-choo. Yeah, no, it's okay. You watch anything by Zay Frank?
I don't know. Maybe.
Okay, so in my opinion, Zay Frank is one of the OG YouTube, actually I would say OG like internet content creators, like before YouTube was a thing.
Okay.
Zay Frank was like he had made things that had like in like pre-YouTube days like gone like that form of viral. And he does a show. Well, it's literally just called The Show with Zay Frank, and or he did a show, I should say. He doesn't do it anymore, but essentially, he would just like write out monologues or address like people's comments, and talks about everything like mental health, love, sex, death, like everything.
That's cool.
And honestly, like I don't know if I sound like radicalized here, but I don't believe in like giving airtime to like older white men unless they like earn it, you know what I mean? But I really feel like he's in his, I don't know, 30s, 40s, something like that, and he's really earned that airtime. Like I don't know, his dialogue is so wholesome and just like, I just wish more people thought like he does, Anyway, so yeah, I'm just randomly, because we lost our train of thought, recommending Zay Frank because he's amazing, and anyone listening to this, you should listen to Zay Frank. He's wonderful.
Like Zane or Zaid?
Oh, sorry, it's a weird name. So the channel is called Zay Frank 1, and it's spelled Z-E, and then just Frank 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Zay Frank. I think it's like I don't know what.
Like Zay
Frank. Yeah.
Frank.
But the thing, I've never heard him do that. Like I've never heard him like do a French accent or like even mention it. So I don't know what the joke is there. I'm sure like knowing him, there's some kind of fucking story there. But yeah. Zay Frank. I actually was watching like a couple of his videos today, and every time I just feel like I'm sitting down with someone, like it's almost like therapy, because I'm like, he's very much like there's very few cuts. He's just basically reading off his monologue. It's just his face in frame, and that's basically it. And there's something very therapeutic about just like the sanity and the introspection of like how he talks. It's
interesting.
Really, really good. Yeah, strongly recommend.
Cool.
And also, what everyone knows him for, though, is true facts about animals. So if you've ever seen like true facts about spiders or true facts about Morgan Freeman,
I probably have.
Yeah, everyone's seen those, and that's kind of what he's known for. He was also the director of BuzzFeed for a long time.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's interesting.
He's very much like kind of like behind the scenes for like some like really big internet institutions, but yeah, he has a lot of really good work on his own too.
Cool.
Yeah.
No, that definitely sounds like something that would be interesting to check out for sure.
Do it.
Yeah. Oh, I was gonna talk about school earlier.
I was going to ask you about school. What do you... Okay, I feel like maybe you told me... You weren't studying before, were you?
No, so actually...
Here we go.
Yeah,
do tell.
This is the whole thing. So, I decided to go back to university.
Nice.
After 8 or 9 years of not doing any school at all.
Okay, cool.
So
that's difficult for sure, but I mean,
oh my
kudos.
gosh. It's been so funny, 'cause some of the professors are like, you learned this last year. And I'm like, 9 years ago.
Yeah.
But actually, a lot of the groups that I've been put into, because like we have like small groups for each class, is like a lot of the people in the groups have been like really supportive. They're like, oh my gosh, like I couldn't even imagine doing that. Like if you need anything, text me. Actually, they didn't say text me. Something I learned about young
the culture
people.
Changed?
It has changed so radically.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, if you need to ask a question, just Snapchat me. And I'm like, no, I don't even have a Snapchat. They're like,
shit.
oh, you can message me on Instagram. I'm like, yeah, I can do that. That is just a really weird way of contacting
It's kind of
someone.
roundabout. Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
It is interesting. I actually... I remember why I got... Oh, yeah, I have a young queer person who I'm, like, I don't know, keeping tabs on.
Oh, nice.
That sounds kind of creepy.
Like mentoring.
Mentoring. Yeah, you got it. Yeah. Sorry, my brain went other places, but yeah, no. This kind of like a friend from high school came out to me a little while ago, and and like basically the only way that like I hear from her is like on Snapchat. And so I was like, oh, okay, well we should like have Snapchat for that reason. But yeah, I feel like every generation has their like things.
And there's this phrase that they use. It's like, let's get the bread.
Oh, yeah, let's get this bread. Hey, what? That's not even new.
What?
Let's get this bread? No.
I've never heard this before. And then it was it was like in the chat on our Zoom lecture, and they're like, let's get this bread. And they're like 100% wheat. And I was like, what is happening?
That's so funny. Yeah, no, that is, I don't know. That's funny. I feel like, I don't know if that's like a meme thing or like what it is, but I like that expression because it also lines up with like LGBT, not to make everything gay, but like let's get this bread. And I just thought that was funny too. So
that is anyway. Really cool, actually. Yeah. No, I like saw it for the first time and I was so confused. And then Tim, my friend, he was on last time. He was like, "Yeah, no, this is just a saying," and I was like, how did I miss this?
Welcome to the culture. Yeah, no, that's actually something, honestly, if it makes you feel any better, I missed out on, like, the first, 10 years of, like, popular culture, again, being religious family. So, like...
To be fair, I was not allowed Facebook until I graduated high school.
Damn. Yeah, I think I was, like... junior high school.
I feel like we had very similar childhoods.
Maybe. No. I'm gonna stop you there. Like, I didn't really know who Beyonce was until I was probably like, I don't know, like 17. And the thing is, like, I don't know. Were you allowed to watch TV as a kid?
Let me get back to that one. Okay. First off, not Beyonce, but we weren't allowed to watch some Disney movies because they had too much magic in them.
Okay.
We weren't allowed to read Harry Potter. We weren't allowed to watch Harry Potter at all.
Okay.
And we had, let me preface this, which I do not believe this at all.
Yeah.
But a very close relative of ours told me one Thanksgiving that we got rid of our TV because they thought that it would make us gay.
Oh, shit. Yeah, TV makes
I was
gay.
like, what?
There were a lot of like...
Yeah. No, I like literally had to just walk away. I was like, I can't right now. I can't deal.
I mean, you know, those Britney Spears thing. Have you seen the MTV music video? Yeah, it's very similar. I'm actually surprised like that. I don't meet a lot of people who like didn't get to read like Harry Potter and
very conservative Christian upbringing.
I remember actually this is like I'm almost ashamed to mention this, but I actually I got the audiobook for like the first Twilight book and I knew my parents would like hate it. So I was like, I'm just gonna sneak this in. And every now and again I would just it was like back when you had to have like a Discman too, so I had this fucking giant thing and like all these CDs that I was like hiding and it was
I was like the queen of hiding stuff from my parents. Like my mom had Gilmore Girls.
Nice.
But I wasn't allowed to watch it because it was immoral.
Oh shit, yeah, there you go.
Because of all the things that she thought. So anyways, I would watch Gilmore Girls when my mom wasn't home.
Oh, okay.
And as soon as I heard the garage open, I'd put in a VHS that I had put into the middle. So it looked like I could watch
sneaky bitch.
VHS the
Damn.
whole time.
Nice. That's good.
Yeah, I was super sneaky.
Yeah, honestly. I should not say. Was it Aziz Ansari? You know what? No, it was Kumail Nanjiani. You know The Big Sick? It was like this movie that came out a while ago. Okay, so anyway, Kumail Nanjiani is like a stand-up comedy guy. He also starred in The Big Sick, but he told a story one time about kind of ties in back when VHS was a thing. They realized as kids that you could put porn on a VHS. And then they would like trade them around and like copy and and they would like make compilations of their favorite ones. But they would to allay suspicion, they would only put like porn on like the second half of the thing. So, and then he grows up, doesn't think much of it, 15, 10, 20 years later, however long. Yeah, he's like, hey mom, what happened to my VHS collection? She's like, oh, I gave it to Goodwill or whatever. Yeah.
Oh my god.
So some poor child is going through like Mickey Mouse, and then about at the halfway point, it just goes to like hardcore pornography.
Oh no!
Yeah, in that case, oh god, I feel terrible for that child, but it is kind of a good story.
My mom liked to tape things, so we did. So there was like this really cute, 5-minute clip of me doing ballet when I was about 3.
Aww, that's so cute.
So I was just like tiptoeing around in pink tights, basically.
But adorable though.
Adorable, yeah. But then after that was the first Spy Kids taped on that. So
First what?
Spy Kids.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. So my friends would come over.
Ah.
And they'd be like, let's watch Spy Kids. I'd be like, sure. Just
Close your eyes.
just don't watch this first part.
Jesus.
I'm just gonna fast forward this.
I guess because like they would automatically rewind and you could like stop at the right time. Yeah, shit. That wow, that's like the gatekeeping of humiliation. Like it's like, okay, I get to enjoy this thing, but I have to like embarrass myself in front of everyone first.
Yeah.
That's rough. Yeah. You know, I can't remember why or when, but recently I did like I think like a month or two ago I watched Spy Kids again, and
it doesn't really hold up.
you know, I'm gonna go the opposite direction here.
Oh, really?
I think
Oh,
that it
nice.
kind of like Antonio Banderas. Like I don't know how the fuck they got.
Okay,
him to
I
do
like
that.
Antonio Banderas in anything he plays.
Yeah, he's great. But honestly, like, and also like I think it's his wife is like Carla Gugino. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Anyway, I feel like as the camp, like obviously it's like fucking campy, like campy is all gonna. But I feel like the cast was pretty well chosen.
It was.
And like and. Oh yeah, no, the special effects though, holy shit.
Right?
Yeah, no, in that sense, it looks bad. Like it's atrocious. But you know, one movie that actually held up really well in that regard was
Jurassic Park. Sorry.
No, you're right. You're absolutely. I wasn't gonna say Jurassic Park, but you're absolutely right. I remember watching a clip from Jurassic Park, like I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, and I was blown away. I was like, this looks really good.
You know why?
Yeah.
It's all practical effects.
Yeah.
They had dudes in Velociraptor suits running around after these children.
Fucking crazy.
And like, complete aside. Sorry.
No, keep going.
The T-Rex was all like animatronics and
that big. It was
it
actually
was
that big.
actually that big. So like, actually, this T-Rex almost killed people. Like, because so they like built it, and in that scene where it rained, it got heavy.
Oh Jesus.
And they didn't really account for that, so
Oh.
like when they were like controlling it, like swung too far. Like almost took people out.
Oh no.
It was like terrifying.
Yeah.
It's like looks like a fucking T-Rex
Yeah.
and it's coming for you.
How was your day, George? Well, I almost got murdered by a T-Rex, Martha, but thank you for asking.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, that's scary.
Yeah.
Huh.
Anyways, just
No, that's honestly
Jurassic Park facts.
I don't get enough like weird movie facts as I would like to, so that's actually really good. I'll pass that one down. That's really good. It got too heavy in the rain. Damn. Yeah, I gotta be careful when you're driving your T-Rex around. Honestly, the Velociraptor suits to this day scare people. Like I remember,
Right? They're scary.
Yeah, there was like a jump scare video, not jump scare, but like a video where they had basically just like they just had a Velociraptor like come around the corner like as someone's like also approaching that corner, and people would turn and run. Like it was that good. And
I would too.
yeah, practical in Tyrannosaurus Park, Jurassic Park. That's like the knockoff. That's like the Bollywood Tyrannosaurus Park. The practical effects were incredible, like really incredible. I was gonna say Peter Pan though, the 2003 Peter Pan.
I haven't
Yeah.
seen that one in quite a while.
Yeah. Honestly, I remember watching it like I don't know 3 years ago or something, and I was like shocked because I was expecting. I was like, oh boy, here we go. This is gonna look rough, but it actually it came through really well. I was very surprised, like pleasantly so, I guess. And also the child acting was like solid, like they really nailed it.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and also like I don't know, 8-year-old Ben had a crush on Jeremy Sumpter for sure. But yeah, it was that might have factored into like my biases for it. But yeah, no, that was was like, I feel like growing up as a kid, do you ever have that person you're like, I don't know why, I just like them. Like they're just so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you realize you're like, oh fuck, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was Gerard Butler. I was like, I loved Aldra. I was like, Phantom of the Opera. I would just like die every
I
time.
just love opera,
I
Mom.
just love it.
He's so. I mean, it's so good.
I was like, oh, this movie's so good, like the effects and the music, and
Yeah.
my mom's like, and then I was like, oh, 300. Oh,
yeah.
Timeline.
Oh my god. I totally found like before the movie came out, I found the graphic novel as like I don't know how old I was, like 15, and I was like, oh my god, what is this? It was I don't know. Have you read the graphic novel at all?
No.
Okay, because like they wear clothes in the movie, but there is a lot less clothing in the graphic novel.
I see.
And I think that might have been the first time I saw like just like penises like all over the place in like a graphic novel. I was just shocked that it was like allowed. Like I was like looking at the librarians like, you see this? What the fuck is this? But yeah, no, that was that awoken some feelings for sure. That was
Yep.
yeah. Yeah, they were. God, those.
And also, like, Christine, though, as I got older, I'd be like,
Yeah.
yes, Jar, but no.
Yeah, you're like,
Christine, though.
Yeah.
That hair.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, no, it is, it is, I feel like especially for people who aren't, like, exclusive, like one way or the other, I feel like that is a very difficult upbringing, or, like, childhood to have, just because you're like, I don't know what's happening. Like, I thought it was this person, now it's this person. I actually like them both. Yeah, no, it gets to be kind of confusing, doesn't it?
I, like, never really acknowledged any part of myself like that. Actually, I, like, didn't even realize it until I was about 20.
Okay.
I was about 20, and I was like standing waiting for the C train, and I saw this beautiful black girl, and I looked at her, and I was like, oh shit.
Knees start shaking.
I was like, oh no, what is this? What's happening? And it took like a couple weeks for me to, like, get my mind around, like, oh.
Yeah. I think too, like, also there were, like, again, I think there are moments that I look back on my childhood and I'm like, oh my god, like, I was gay as fuck. But like, because you don't have, like, the language, or, like, and also because I think, like, I didn't think I had, like, pushed things down as a kid, but I think there were things that I, like, pushed down just because, like, I didn't know how to handle it, and I was like, I don't know what's happening, and this is not supposed to be the way it is, so we're just gonna, and then, you know, you hit puberty and things, like, kind of level out a little bit, but,
yeah, no, I just, like, because it was so accepted for me to, like, look at men and be like that.
Yeah.
Then I just didn't even acknowledge this other part of myself.
Yeah. Okay, so that's actually really funny, because this is gonna sound really weird. For me, it was kind of the opposite. Like in my religious circle, it was very much like I like the Southern Baptists, because they're very much, like, about kind of, like, respecting women's boundaries. Like, I feel like there's very, I don't know, as far as I know, it's not like I feel like some religions are kind of rapey, but, like, Southern Baptists aren't that way, which is nice, aside from, like, the raging homophobia. But so in that sense, I felt, like, bad when I would, like, look at, like, porn of women, but I was like, dudes, it's just a dude, like, you know, I've been in a locker room, I know what that looks like. So there was, like, it's funny, because I feel like sometimes, like, my, like, respect for women, or, like, whatever you want to call it at the time, was very much, like, something that I don't know, kind of led me down the path, so to speak. But yeah, it is religion's funny. It is a weird thing.
Yeah. And, like, I think that when you grow up in, like, that kind of environment with so many things, like, this is good, this is not, this is good, this is not.
Black and white.
And then you kind of step out into the real world. You kind of, at least I found, where it was hard to hold on to my faith. Yeah. And then when I, like, kind of really nailed it down why, it was, oh, this doesn't make sense to me.
That just doesn't fucking, like, make any sense.
This has been hammered into me since the time I could speak, but looking at it logically, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, sure.
And absolutely. Like, I was like, whoa. And it just, like, shook me so hard. But, like, growing up with only one viewpoint and then stepping into a world with, like, millions. Yeah. It was hard.
Yeah, it is. It's really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that. I think growing up was nice because everything's very simple. Like, it was
very
like,
simple.
Like, again, when I say black and white, I mean, like, very black and white.
Oh, yes.
And realizing the gray areas and, like, the nuance that I think I used to, like, look at, I don't know, people who I felt had, like, I don't know, sold out or been corrupted as, like, I was really judgmental of those people, and then now I look back and I'm like, you know what, honestly, they were, like, doing the best thing that they could at the time.
Yeah.
And in hindsight, like, their actions were probably pretty well justified. And
yeah, like, now when I look at people, it's not like, oh, you're doing something bad. It's, oh, why are you doing
for Nazis.
That? Yeah. Oh my God.
Sorry.
Within reason.
Yeah. No. That's
like, if somebody was like, oh, I'm stealing this food, I was like, okay, well, why?
Yeah.
Are you doing this to feed your family, or are you doing this because you're a kleptomaniac?
Yeah.
Like, those are two very different reasons, and I'm gonna, like, try to find out why before I judge one way or the other.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I feel like stealing to feed your family, or stealing because you don't have, like, another good option is, or, like, when people, like, go into, like, prostitution or dealing drugs, you know.
Yeah.
Like, again, sometimes what I love is seeing is that now with the rise of, like, OnlyFans and Patreon, there are people who, like, do, like, sex work because it's, like, enjoyable for them and because that's what they want, right? But for, like, a lot of people, that's just because, like, they got to put bread, like, they got a kid at home they got to feed, and and if they don't do that, they're going to starve or God knows what, but yeah, no, it's I used to also like my view of the police has changed a lot. Just because as a kid, I think, and also prisons, like my view on prisons was like really different as a kid too, just because
prisons disturb me.
Well, especially like I don't know if we do the same shit in the U.S., but do the same shit in Canada.
I know in the U.S. is basically just slavery.
Well, yeah, I mean, to a degree, right? Like the fact that you can get like free labor out of these people or like pay them like 60 cents an hour or whatever.
It's basically slavery.
Yeah. I remember someone recently was talking about like allowing them to be like field hands, and I was like,
yeah,
field hands.
Yeah,
you know what that? Yeah,
and like also in the U.S., like vast majority of the people in prison are people of color.
Yep. Yeah, you can't vote. And that was something else. Is like as a kid, I was like, I was very much like, well, you're fucked up. Like you broke the rules. No, you don't get to vote. And I had so much like faith in the system, and like because I had like no bad experiences with the police ever. And like looking back, I'm like, that yeah.
See, in the town I grew up was very, very much like it's an oil field town, so it's like very much like a drug hotspot and stuff like that. And the police weren't amazing. Like I'm sure there's good police there. Sure. Maybe. I don't know them personally. But I remember one experience. Well, there's two actually. So my brother, when he first got his license, he got pulled over by a female cop, and she just tore into him because his license plate was too dirty.
Oh shit.
And like she just yelled at him for like 3 minutes straight. Wow. And he's like 16 and like almost in tears.
Yeah.
And the other experience is like my mom stopped for somebody with a baby stroller that was crossing the road, and a cop blew by her going like twice the speed limit.
Fuck.
No lights.
Wow. Wow.
And like the cops in our town would just like go through the stoplight, no lights on, or just like they'd like pull up to the stoplight, put their lights on, go through the light, and then like turn them off. So I'm like,
yeah,
that's my experience. That's what I grew up with. So I was like, never really had a lot of faith
in the cops. Yeah, no, that's fair. I feel like, and yeah, maybe rightly so. I you want to like believe that there are good police officers out there, but like I think that like there is very much like an institutional problem, and
I feel like too is like if you are a good police officer and you see something bad happening and you don't do anything about it, are you still a good person?
Yeah, no, it's fair. And it's also something that I struggle to like speak on too, because I don't really have any like friends who are cops. And this is something that ties into like my stance on like people talking about queer issues, because I'm like, if you want to have an opinion about like queer issues, then you'd better like you better like have done
your homework.
Yeah, done your homework. Like you better know somebody, you know what I mean? Like if you're gonna have an opinion, then you gotta have some kind of tie to the community, right? And And I feel kind of that way about like police stuff, is that like obviously it affects me, the police are whether I like it or not a part of my society, and it's something that my tax money goes to, so obviously we do need to like have an opinion about it. But like as far as there are no good cops, ultimately like I haven't met all the cops, and I don't really know all of them,
also,
although
like,
based on what I've seen, I'm starting to fucking doubt it.
And also it goes back to like gray areas too, right?
100%.
Like it's not black or white, like not all cops are bad and not all cops are good. There's that gray freaking huge area.
And that's the thing, is like I feel like anytime we make a really like hyper general statement about it, it's oh god, this conversation is gonna come back to haunt me. but yeah, no, I feel like anytime we make like really hyper general statements, oftentimes we come back and like regret those statements, right? Like I could give you examples, but typically generalizations are wrong. There are exceptions to every rule, and I think it's really important to treat every person as an individual, and
absolutely.
Yeah, and also just, fight institutionalized racism.
Just be understanding.
Yeah, honestly.
People's situations, like, yeah.
110%. It's
like I think it comes back to like just have empathy.
Yeah, and that's where again exposure breeds empathy, and it's hard because you can't expose to all people, but like yeah, no, it is. It's really difficult too. I don't want to like. How long does this normally run for? I didn't even ask you.
Oh, I don't know. Sometimes it goes for like an hour. Sometimes I think Cody talked to one of his friends about Star Wars for like 2 hours.
Damn. Okay, that's an episode. Nice.
Yeah. Cool. Whenever we feel like kind of we have nothing else to say,
nice.
Or you're like, hey, I need to get home.
Fair. Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, that's good to know. I should probably look at the clock then, just so.
It is 8:00.
Thank you. That's good to know. That's all I was looking for. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, wow, we covered like a lot of topics.
We have.
Yeah.
A lot of
like,
very
all over the
broad
place.
topics.
Yeah, like all over the place.
Yeah, it's interesting. I actually didn't know that about your childhood. I
Oh,
find it
yeah.
because I have not met somebody with a similar childhood in a very
Yeah.
long time.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, no TV, no dancing, no drinking, no swearing. I mean, yeah, I see my dad very angry multiple times, and I've never heard him swear, which is weird to me.
Oh,
Like,
interesting. So my
yeah.
dad was a construction worker.
yeah.
So that rule was not in our
Yeah,
house.
no.
Oh, like we weren't allowed to swear.
Yeah,
we
of
weren't even
course.
allowed to say like shit or poop
Yeah.
or anything. It was like,
Right.
no, that's a bad word.
Yeah, but dad swears.
Yeah, and like my mom and dad, they both drank, but like it was like special
Moderately.
occasions,
Yeah.
and like or my
Socially.
dad would have like a cooler after work or something. But
Very chill.
yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't like, I guess they had like Christmas and New Year's Eve parties where they'd have like a bunch of people over, and us children would go,
Right.
play Xbox in the basement.
Yeah, mom and dad get a little crunk or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. Absolutely.
But that was like once or twice a year, so
Yeah. Yeah, no, that makes sense. I feel like everyone's got a life steam at some point or another. Also, like when your kids can like take care of themselves, it's not as big a deal. But yeah. Also, my little sisters for the longest time only wore skirts, which was kind of like well, I don't know. Growing up, you just kind of assume it's like the right thing to do. But like, yeah, and then eventually that law was kind of like slowly repealed, where it was like, well, sometimes you could wear pants, but
Oh wow.
it was a weird
So
thing.
I like kind of convinced my parents I was supposed to always wear a dress on Sundays.
Oh shit, okay.
But I grew up with an older brother and a younger brother
Oh,
and
shit.
no sisters.
Yeah,
So I would go and play with them
yeah.
during church or after church or whatever. And my mom was like, "Don't do that. People
Yeah.
can see up your dress." And I'm like, "Then make me wear pants."
Yeah, I was gonna
So
say.
I'm gonna go climb trees. I'm gonna get into mud fights. Like, just
Yeah.
let me wear freaking pants.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that always blew my mind too, because they're like, oh, well, dresses are more modest. I'm like, sometimes they are. But like, actually, it's funny. So at my parents' church, there's, I don't know if this still is, but I guess I haven't been for years, but back when I was there was a piano, and it was up on the stage, and basically the way it was positioned was, if you were wearing a skirt, and if that skirt didn't come down to your ankles, and you were sitting at the piano, it was open season. Like, you could see whatever they had going on down there, and I think it took like a good while. Like, I want to say like 6 months this went on before someone like caught on to the fact that this was like, which I mean, surprising honestly, that it took that long. But eventually they put a little curtain around the
Oh my God.
But yeah, I just thought that was hilarious. I was like, I get maybe this just says that I'm very gay, but like I didn't notice it like at all. But I eventually noticed like the little curtain, and then I was like, oh, that does make a lot of sense actually.
Yeah.
So
No,
yeah,
I was always one of the boys.
yeah, absolutely.
One of
100%.
the times that we had these like transfer people come to our church from New Zealand, I think it
Oh,
was.
like missionaries?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they stayed there for like 6 months. Like the church like put them up. And
Yeah, furlough, totally.
Yeah, whatever. And so these boys were about the same age as me. I think one was a little older, one was a little younger. They were about the same age. So they hung out with me and my friends because we all were in the same church and whatever.
Yeah.
And the one time, one of them grabbed me on the shoulder and said something. I don't remember what he said, but it made me really mad. So I just like flipped him over top of my shoulder
Damn,
into the
okay.
snowbank.
Shit.
And then they like didn't ever bother me again.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how that
They're
story's
like,
supposed to
"Wait,
end.
you're just like a boy," and I'm
Yeah.
just like, "Yeah, so
Damn
leave
right.
me alone."
Yeah. I don't fuck with you. Yeah, that's actually really funny. Okay. Yeah, I like that. That's nice to hear a story with a happy ending.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah. My friends were all like, "You can't do that." And
Also,
I'm
that's some like
just
karate
did.
shit. Yeah, I was gonna say, watch me. Yeah, honestly,
I
that's
know. Growing up with brothers, we wrestled.
fun.
We had rules.
Mm.
We weren't allowed to hit each other in the stomach or like the chest area,
Right.
or like in the back.
Okay.
But sometimes when we got really mad, then we'd take a kidney shot.
Damn. Okay.
Because you know when you're fighting, you're play fighting, then all of a sudden something hurts a
Yeah.
little bit, and you get
And you're like,
mad, and then
"Yeah."
you hit them a little
Yep.
harder, and then
Absolutely.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I knew how to fight
There
a
you go.
little bit.
That's good, honestly. I think everyone should know how to fight a little bit. I actually, it's funny. I feel like I only like punched my brothers like once or twice that I can like remember, and like wrestling was not really encouraged. Like I don't even remember. Like I don't think it was like forbidden, but we just didn't really wrestle at all. Like I feel like
My parents got tired of pulling us apart all the time and like getting mad, so they're like, "Okay, fine,
yeah.
just don't hurt each other seriously." So no like head
Yeah.
punches or
Right.
stomach
Yeah,
punches.
we got some WWE rules here.
Just like legs and arms, and just try to be careful.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had like a little bit of anger issues as a child.
Okay.
And so my little brother used to call me the Hulk.
Oh, damn. Okay, because you look Hulk out.
Yeah, because he would poke and bug and bug and bug, and then suddenly I would just snap.
Right.
So like, the last time I remember this happening was when I was in grade 9. And I realized after this happened that Trevor was almost as big as me, and I should probably not do this anymore because he could beat me up in probably about a year. I was thinking,
yeah.
I'll give him a year. I was like, I'll give him a year to forget all the shit I used to do. But
Doing the math.
he like did something, and I don't remember what it was, but he was standing in the living room, and I was down the hallway, and I just remember running and jumping. And, like, don't really remember. I, like, blanked out. I was so mad. Apparently, I just, like, jumped on top of him and just started, like, pounding him.
Okay.
And my dad had to, like, pull me off of him.
Shit.
My dad's killing himself laughing because I just, like, fucking launched myself.
Christ.
Anyways, after that, I kind of sat down and I was like, yeah, he's almost big enough to beat me up, too, so I should probably...
Can't keep doing this shit. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. I think he also realized at that point that maybe he should stop.
Right.
Because when I snapped, it was getting worse and worse.
We're mutually assured destruction.
Yeah.
It's better if we all, like, laid the cards down on the table.
Yeah,
and stopped
so
playing that game.
after that, then I really started working on, like, my anger. And so it's been really good.
That's good.
Yeah.
That is good. Yeah, no, anger's a tough one.
It is.
Yeah. I really, like, had much, I don't know. Trying to think. I think, like, you know, obviously everyone gets angry sometimes. I think as a kid you kind of go through like phases and stuff, but yeah. No, I think like overall I only get like really angry like every now and again. It has to be something that like a recurring thing that like you're not supposed to do. That this person, like, you know, if someone like does something that like they're like, I'm like, you knew and you've done this more than once, so fuck you. That kind of thing pisses me off. But like most of the time I'm like pretty.
I like haven't gotten angry in a long time. Like I get mad at things like, oh, this traffic's taking so long.
Yeah.
But like I haven't gotten so angry in like many years.
Yeah, I feel like I get more anxious in traffic than I do like angry, you know,
Yeah.
or where I'm just like, I need to go, let's go. You
It's
know,
more like when somebody almost hits me.
Oh God.
And then I
yeah.
get really mad.
That actually every night, yeah, wanted endangerment. When people who are just like total disregard for other people's lives, I'm like, yeah, you need to fuck off.
Yeah, right.
That is kind of shitty. Yeah, I don't think I've ever yelled at a stranger or anything like that.
Me neither.
I feel like, yeah, I feel like most people.
I like.
You don't, but.
I don't know if it was the house I grew up in or just like my personality, but I'm definitely. It's hard for me to like walk into confrontation. Like I very, very much avoid it at all costs almost.
I feel that.
Like there's been like personal growth for me is like I like confront people that have hurt me. Like like my mom, she said some hurtful things when her and my dad got separated, and she said some hurtful things to me. And it took me like a couple weeks to like build up the courage to actually say something to her.
Yeah.
And so like it's like been a personal growth milestone for me. But yeah, no, if somebody makes me mad in the street, I generally just walk away.
Piss off. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, especially it's hard too with your parents, right? It's like it's hard realizing that your parents are perfect, you know. I think that is really difficult because like they're like this source of like all the knowledge and all the information and everything, and then you're like, oh, you were not right about everything, and and then you realize that they fucked up sometimes, and it's hard to confront that.
Yeah, we went through this whole thing with both my parents. Like when they separated, there was like this very like disintegration of our relationship.
Right.
And so for me, I've worked really, really hard in the past like 3 or 4 years to build that back up.
Right.
And like with my dad, it's gone a lot smoother and a lot better because my dad is very open.
Right.
Which is surprising because growing up, it was the very opposite.
Interesting.
But yeah, after my dad kind of separated, he became very open with his emotions and his feelings. He's like, I feel like I need to be because I feel like maybe this is why this didn't work.
Right.
And so he's very open with his feelings in our relationship, and he'll be like, I feel sad that you haven't called. And I'm like, well, it's a two-way street. He's like,
fair.
Yeah, okay. And I'm like, yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and like with my mom, it's a little bit rockier. But like I still love her and I still want to hang out with her and stuff. It's just sometimes we don't see eye to eye, and then
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Then I have words with her about it, and then she gets a little bit upset, and so it's fine.
Yeah, no, it's not easy. I think family's always hard, isn't it?
Yeah, and like, again, like I love my mom, but she went through this phase when she got separated. Like she moved right from her dad's house to my dad's house. Like she moved right in.
Oh.
Like she got married and moved right
Out
in.
of her family, right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So she never had this time to like live in her 20s.
Like college days, yeah.
And so I feel like when they separated, she kind of went through this like college person phase. And I would come to her with problems, and she would treat me like one of her friends.
Oh, right.
And I'm like, Mom, I need a mom.
Yeah.
Not a friend.
Yeah, totally.
So it's been a struggle, but like I feel like we have a pretty solid relationship now.
That's good.
It's just a lot of work.
Yeah, it always is. Family, right?
Yeah.
It's,
no kidding.
It is a crazy amount of work. I don't know what to say. It's really difficult.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I think it's the ones that you like work the hardest on. Actually, you know, I also, as I'm saying this, I'm thinking about like some of my like my more like important immediate relationships, and honestly, like maybe it's just because we don't like live together and like we don't even like live in the same city sometimes, but like I feel like some of those maybe it's just like the right amount of distance, but like yeah, like I would say the top like 3 relationships in my life are like pretty fucking easy. Like
yeah.
I don't know if that's just like by design or maybe it's just that I've like we've done the groundwork, but like I think like my romantic relationships are like harder because like obviously like you gotta work and you gotta like communicate and
But also you're with them.
yeah
all the time.
exactly
But yeah, no, like my relationship with my younger brother I think is a really good relationship, but it's really easy. Like he lives in Denmark, so we just talk online. But honestly, I haven't talked to him in like 2 months, and then he texted me the other day, and we've been texting for 2 days straight, and then we won't talk to him for another couple months or a month or whatever.
Yeah, 100%.
But like whenever we do talk, it's just easy. It's nice.
I think also too some relationships hit like it's different for everyone, but like some relationships hit that point where there is kind of like that you could just pick it up wherever you know it's like riding a bike. You just kind of get back on, you guys are good to go.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, it's nice. Those relationships are nice.
Yeah.
It's good to have people you can always just like come back to and be like, hey, how are you doing? You know.
Yeah.
Feels like nothing's changed really.
Yeah, Brienne, my best friend, is like that.
Yeah.
She moved to BC.
Oh God, when did she do that?
September. No, sorry. She moved in the middle of the summer.
Look at that bastard. God.
I know. And she's
That
going to
is
be there for a full year now.
Oh, Jesus.
Because she signed a 1-year lease on a house.
Oh.
And I'm like, come on.
What the fuck?
I know.
That is rough. Yeah, no, I feel that my cousins, Christy and Steph, for the longest time were in Vancouver, and I wasn't mad at them. I was like very happy because, you know, they got out of Red Deer and everything, but yeah, no, honestly, they were like probably, I don't know, I would think of them like sisters, and it was just like so sad because they were like the closest people to me, or I felt the closest to, and it was like, yep, you're like, I don't know, however many hours drive, it's like 16 hours to get to them.
So far.
Yeah, it is not easy losing one's close friends.
Yeah.
And now Steph, like they came back because Chrissy's having a baby, but Steph is moving back to Victoria. So in a way, it's good because I have a reason to visit BC again, which is kind of good. But yeah, I'm gonna miss her.
Brienne is definitely like my sister. We've evolved past friendship.
Yeah, nice. That's good.
But yeah, no, I'm like, on one hand, I'm so proud of her because she loves what she's doing.
Oh, good.
And like that's what she wants to do, and I'm like, I'm so happy that you're doing that. But could you do it closer to me?
Heck, so location, man. Jesus.
So,
yeah, that is rough.
Yeah.
What's she doing?
So she's working at a nonprofit organization that deals with like, deals with a lot of things like endangered species in that area.
Oh, cool.
So like, there's like some sort of fish, possibly. I think it's a fish, and also a bat.
Okay.
And a bird, maybe?
Sure.
I don't know.
Fish, that bird, something like that.
There's like some endangered species that they're like trying to bring back. I think
Right.
it was like previously extirpated from that area, and they're
Right.
trying to like reintroduce them. And then they also do with like rehabilitation of the land
Right.
to like give them those habitats and stuff. So
That's good.
it's really cool. I'm so
Yeah.
happy that
Sounds like great work, honestly.
yeah. I'm like so proud that that's what she's doing.
Yeah.
She went to school to do biology shit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And
like,
she's doing that.
yeah,
Yay.
I'm like, yay, go Brienne, but
Yeah,
also like,
fuck.
come back.
100%. Yeah, that's not easy, honestly. It's I don't know. Oh, friends are that's the troubling thing about any relationship, right? Is that there's always the chance that person will die or go away, or maybe you'll stop being friends. And I think ultimately, you know, as cheesy as this sounds, you just gotta like put your heart on the line and let it be.
I think that it's better to have friends
And lose them. Yeah.
than to not ever have
Yeah,
friends.
exactly. I feel that. I think there's like this little like angry, sad person at like the back of my brain that's like, I just, you know, it would be easier if we didn't do this. But yeah, no, I think that ultimately, family, community is so so valuable, so important.
Yeah, definitely. My voice got all froggy there.
Me
there was
too.
Some, like,
Yeah, I feel like I
dairy
need some
in our
water.
booster juice.
Could have been. Yeah, that could be it. Frogging it up.
Yeah. Take a small water break.
Yes, little water break is nice. Oh, you just got water for me. That's very nice.
Oh,
Also, this is a very cool glass.
Oh, thanks. It's not mine. It was Cody's, I think. Or
Yeah,
something?
inherited. Yeah. I don't know why, but it makes me think of Lord of the Rings.
It kind
It's
of
like-
has that feel.
The base and like the way it's kind of, I don't know if this is a hexagonal shape or whatever, but it's got that geometrical design.
I think it's like 10-sided. I don't remember what that is, though.
Dodecahedron? No, that's not right. That's a very different shape.
Hexagonal?
I have no idea. Honestly, yeah, I barely made it through math, so.
Oh, it's so cool. Now that we've done all of these others.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm taking open studies, but with the intention of getting into the geology
Oh, cool.
stream degree thing.
Yeah.
I was just a little bit of a shithead in high school, and so my grades were not good enough for me to get into geology right off the bat.
Yeah.
So I'm doing first year geology stuff in open studies. So this semester is physics and chem.
Oh, fun.
And
Fuck.
like, physics is so much easier to me than chem, and I'm like struggling so hard in chem. Just like sit and cry some days.
Damn. Oh, but yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that. That is not easy.
Yeah.
Is there like, I struggle to understand the relevancy of like physics in like geology though. Like, what's the
So
point?
if I did,
Maybe this is just like the I don't know,
like, I
the
think
hater
it's-
in me, but I'm like, why? Why would they make you do that? That seems terrible.
I think it's more like the understanding of how things move and the math behind the moving things. I think that would be a great question for an actual geologist. Do you ever use physics?
Well, that's the thing is I love learning, and I think learning is like the best thing in the world. But I have like less faith in like because to a certain degree, actually no, to a large degree, education is also a business, and sometimes I feel like the business part crowds into like the like learning part. And it's like, oh yeah, you need to like my friend of mine had to learn Russian, and he was going into like agronomy, which is basically like farming. And I was like, so how did? And they're like, well, they just want me to be a well-rounded student. And in fairness, I have heard like I've also heard people who are like, I would never have taken that course if I hadn't had to, and I really love it. You know, so like.
Yeah.
There are two sides to that coin, but at the same time, I think it's like maybe the libertarian in me. Like, I'm like, if it doesn't apply to my degree, what the fuck are you doing shoving this down my throat? Like, get out of my face.
So
Yeah.
there's also like a thing that relates to geology, and it's geophysics.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
So I
that's fair.
could do that as
Yeah.
well.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm actually really enjoying physics.
Oh, that's crazy. That's good. That's good for you. Yeah. Oh man, that's too much math for me. But
Like, it makes sense. See, and that's the part I like, is like, okay, so we're just using these formulas, and we're just given these variables, and we just plug the variables into the formulas, where chem is just like, here's a bunch of information, sort through it to find what's relevant, and I'm like,
yeah. Hard to parse through all that.
yeah.
Yeah, that is not easy. Okay, so geology. Are you thinking like? I feel like in Alberta that would be great because you could like probably like score some crazy high-paying like
So,
oil
like,
field job. Yes.
My like thought is oil field jobs like pay a lot.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I realized that I will probably have to work for an oil field company because those are the people that will be hiring.
Yeah.
But eventually, I'd like to work for a company doing more environmental type stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes
Using my
sense.
geology degree.
Yeah.
Because I believe that we should be doing more for the environment.
Yeah. Yes. 100% we should. Could not agree more.
So I understand that I will probably most likely have to work for an oil field company.
It's Alberta.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
It'll give me lots of money, and then I can maybe do more
Yeah.
environmental stuff.
That would be good, honestly. Yeah. No, it's hard. I feel like everyone, to a certain degree, has to do something they don't want to do in order to get to do the thing that they do want to do.
Yeah.
It is what it is. And honestly, I think this is my like love-hate relationship. Well, I shouldn't say love-hate. Like-hate. I don't know. I feel very like tepid about like the oil industry, like in that like I understand that like a lot of the componentry in the computer uses oil-based plastics, right? Like there are a lot of like as our supply chain is built right now, it's like it's the heroin addiction that we literally can't kick because like it would kill like all of our computers to do so. But at the same time, it's frustrating to me because if we'd had more foresight and if we had like developed our systems accordingly, we could have avoided this kind of dependency, right?
Yeah.
And so well if like if the whole question of like if you could just turn it off, you could turn off the oil industry like tomorrow, would you? Ultimately no, because it would like completely destroy society.
But like I would turn off parts of it. So
sure.
like I would be like, okay, all cars are electric or solar powered or whatever is working the best at that moment. Yeah. And so like that takes off a huge portion of the oil
100%.
Consumption. And then maybe we still do need the oil for components and other things. Yeah. But maybe we don't need them to run our machinery anymore.
Yeah, 100%. No, honestly, that would be ideal. I think that like what I hate is because again, like I really wish we could like flip a switch and like, have it done tomorrow. But ultimately, like it will take like probably and I hate like throwing out a number like this because I'm not really qualified to like be throwing out numbers. But I feel like at like on like a good optimistic scale, probably at least 10 years to like transition from like non-oil based plastic.
I was thinking more like 50.
Yeah, and again, that's like the most optimistic of optimistic estimates, but yeah, so it kind of bugs me because like ultimately it's a necessary evil at the moment, and hopefully, hopefully someone comes up with something better in the very near future because it is royally fucking up our planet.
Yep. So that's what I want to do eventually. Just do some sort of environmental conservation type thing.
Fuck yeah. I love that.
Yeah. And like maybe have an actual job by the time I'm 30. That would be great.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I do. It's one of those things where you're like, oh, I'm getting older. Gotta get my shit together. Yeah. No,
I was like, if I start school now, I'm 25. Okay. 5 years for school. I might have a career by the time I'm 30. 32 maybe.
It's not so bad. And ultimately, I do feel like your 20s are kind of for figuring out your shit, right? And also like, I ultimately I feel like anyone who is coming out of university at the age of 30, like ultimately like at least that's what you wanted to do.
Oh yeah, I thought about it for a full freaking year before I even applied.
I don't blame you, honestly. It's a big commitment and it's kind of scary too, right?
Yeah. So. Yes.
It's exciting. I'm happy for you.
Yeah, and this week I haven't cried at all.
Hey, no crying. Woo. Yeah, that is fantastic. I think I've cried twice this week, so I normalize crying. Crying is honestly, it feels so good to cry.
Sometimes.
Honestly, I feel like for me it's like always like it doesn't really matter what the reason is. Like it's just such. I think it's because I don't cry often that it's like it's really nice to like get it out. But I feel like it's...
Sometimes when I'm like frustrated, I'll just start to cry, and then when I'm done crying, I still have to work on the problem.
I feel shitty and I have to cry. That's frustrating for sure.
But last week I think I cried like 4 or 5 times.
Damn.
So this week has been a good week.
Yeah, it's been a week. Yeah, and I feel like also, I saw a quote the other day and it was like, it's okay, it's a global pandemic, you're allowed to feel a little bit stressed out, you're allowed to be like in not as good a place as you maybe would be if you had like all the other things you normally do.
Something I kind of read the other day, which kind of made a lot of sense to me, is like at the beginning of the pandemic and like through the summer, we were like, okay, this is a huge thing, like everybody's stressed out and anxious.
Yeah.
But we're going to get through it, and everybody's like, we're going to get through it, and now it's the fall. And people are going back to school and work, and they're thinking, and now everybody is just exhausted.
Sure, yeah.
Because we're still stressed out, we're still anxious, but now we have responsibilities.
Sure.
And so everybody's just freaking exhausted.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
I was like, wow, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it does. It's tough. It's it's gonna be a really interesting Christmas for sure. Also, probably a really kind of like lonely Christmas if things continue the way they're continuing.
Yeah.
But, yeah, hopefully people can get together in like small groups, do their thing.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Well, like I said, I think as long as people are like being socially conscious and responsible,
yeah,
and not being like, I'm gonna wear not wear my mask and blah blah blah,
yeah.
and like just like get together with small groups of people and then like isolate and then get together and then isolate.
Yep. Again, it really is about like time and also that consideration.
Yeah.
Also, the rules seem to keep changing. Like I remember, I feel like earlier that I heard someone's like early on in the pandemic, they were like, "Oh, hand sanitizer isn't good enough," and now I see hand sanitizer like everywhere, even in hospitals, and I'm like, okay, so maybe they're just trying to kill the other germs. Like I don't know what the deal is there, but yeah, no, it's definitely I don't know. You just do what you can, right?
Yeah. Just don't be a dick about it.
Don't be a dick about it. Yeah, be excellent to each other.
Be excellent to each other. What a great name for this podcast, Cody.
There we go. Yeah, honestly, is he gonna be editing this?
Yeah.
Oh, fun. Okay. So when you left, I left him a fun. It's a secret surprise. It's gonna be.
And there's like 12 people that pay $5 on Patreon each.
Oh, that's nice.
That will also listen to the unedited version.
Hi, 12 people. That's cool. It's always nice to hear. Like honestly, that's something that made a lot of difference to me. Oh, we haven't talked about Huntred at all. That's so funny. So unrelated, it's just really nice when you're making something to know that it, like even if there's just like 2 people who will see it, it's nice to know that it's going up to those 2 people.
Yes.
I feel like ultimately like maybe even better than having an audience of like 1 million people, just because like you know who you're making it for, and even if you're just making it for yourself, it's a beautiful thing.
It is, yeah.
But
tell us about Huntred.
Okay, so it is 8:30 and I do need to start getting home, but we'll give you the quick version. So essentially Huntred is an art competition which incentivizes creation through cash prizes and attention, and I don't know. I have a little following on Instagram, so if you win or even if you enter, you can get your stuff featured in front of about I think we have about 6,000 followers on Instagram, so that's kind of cool. Yeah, right now the prize is $100. Things end pretty quickly here, so end of the month. If you wanted to submit something, you could. It's free to enter right now.
I actually have something I wanted to submit that I totally forgot.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, well, you'd be the only entrant, so you'd have pretty good chances. Yeah, no, honestly, you do you. I haven't. This is the thing is, I've actually been taking like a slightly more like laid back approach to it at the moment. Just like with. I found that running the program kind of inhibited my own creation, and I was like, this is counterproductive. Like, I should be also making things. So, it has been more laid back. Again, technically, things are open. So, if you want to throw a submission my way, 12 people or Tierra, do it. I think the Instagram handle is Benjamin Butcher himself. And that's pretty much it.
The Instagram and links to connect with Ben will also be in the episode notes.
In the show notes, yeah, nice. Yeah, and the hashtag is HUNTRED. It's like hunted, but with an R.
Where did you come up with that name?
Oh, that was actually because initially the idea was to give away like $100 a month, which is something I did for a little while.
Like 100.
Yeah, exactly, 100. And then like also like you're like hunting for money. I don't know. It was kind of spur of the moment thing, but yeah, that is the idea. And I think to date we've given like $1,500 to like various artists and stuff. So
that's so cool.
It is something that makes me happy when I think about it. Put it on my tombstone. Gave money to artists. Woo.
Nice.
Yeah, that is Huntred. It's a little art competition, and you should check it out because it's good, and you should make stuff.
Do you have any like last thoughts or summary of anything that you want to add?
Be kind to each other. I don't know. I think even when you see someone who's like really deeply, you feel like deeply wrong, try to take the time to understand that person. There's almost always like a reason, and you will be better for understanding that reason.
Even if you don't agree with it, I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks, but it's true. Sometimes I just want to slap people inside the head, but yeah, try to understand people.
Yep. Okay, cool. So this has been Benjamin Butcher. That's your name, right?
That is my name.
Great. I was like, oh shit.
That's funny. Yeah. No,
and yeah, thanks for being on the podcast.
Of course.
Stay kind, everybody.
If you like this episode of This Is Your Brain On podcast, consider leaving a rating or a review on your podcast listening app of choice. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify, basically anywhere you listen to podcasts, you can find us. Help us break through those evil algorithms and reach the most amount of glorious listeners that we possibly can. And let us know how we're doing. For up-to-date information on the show, you can follow us on social media. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. For more ways in which you can support the show, visit fsproductions.ca.